I'm Victoria Herrick, a student at Pepperdine University, and today I'll be documenting my learning about virtual reality and teaching. When we think of virtual reality, we think of this MetaQuest headset, which can be somewhat intimidating or scary if you haven't put one on before. But what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is the computer generated simulation of a three-dimensional image or environment that can be interacted with in a seemingly real or physical way by a person using special electronic equipment, such as a helmet with a screen inside of it or gloves fitted with sensors. How does VR impact education and training? Virtual reality or VR technology makes learning multimodal by immersing the viewer in multisensory experiences, including visual, auditory, and kinesthetic environments. Students have the opportunity to increase meaning making by learning and performing tactile skills, experiencing empathy, and creating their own designs in VR. VR can be used in education to provide an empathetic experience or to teach a technical skill. There are three types of virtual reality: fully immersive, which uses head mounted displays such as MetaQuest, haptics, the hand controllers. Semi immersive uses videos and projectors, including 360 video, and also cardboard Google goggles. And non immersive would include video games that you're playing that just look three dimensional but don't have any kind of headset or goggle. When we're talking about semi immersive, we're talking about 3 degrees of freedom, such as 360 video. So, 360 degrees of freedom allows the user to move in the following three directions. So, rolling, pitching, and yawing. More immersive experiences, such as with a head mounted device, allows for 6 degrees of freedom. So we're talking about the immersive head mounted displays. So you've got elevating, strafing, and surging are also possible with head mounted displays and hand gesture or touch controllers. These two images show the difference between the Google 360 video cardboard goggles, which you can easily order or assemble, even make as a craft on your own if you have the right supplies. And then on the other side, we see a head mounted display that allows for a fully immersive experience. Sometimes people will put their actual mobile devices inside of it. And then sometimes with the head mounted display, you will have, it fully built inside of it, which we're going to take a look at some of those differences. This is an example of a 360 video that a 360 camera could take, or if your mobile device might even have 360 photo capabilities. If you take this video, even pop it into YouTube, you could then watch it on the Google goggles and still have that 3 degrees of freedom virtual reality experience. This is an example of hand controllers that go with the MetaQuest. The mini joysticks allow the user to move forward and rotate in space. The grips on the side, you'll see some little buttons on the side there, allow the user to grip and make hand motions with their hand. The buttons can toggle users in and out of different menus and experiences. This would be a hand controller from the HoloLens. So this is a different head-top mounted display and a different hand track controller. Now, the most recent release of the MetaQuest 2 allows you to let go of your hand controller and just use your hands as gestures. This is an example from Martin et al., a study in 2022, actually a survey of all of the different head-mounted display of virtual reality devices and their price point. So you'll see on here the Oculus, which is also known as the MetaQuest 2, at about $400. PlayStation VR, the HTC Vive, more expensive. The top industries using VR include military and law enforcement, Education, of course, this can include technical education, such as what I do, career technical education, learning how to weld or read gadgets or gears. The test demo project I did was learning how to read a micrometer. Automotive, fitting parts, doing training. I've done that professionally. Aerospace. Aerospace can include a flight simulation, how to run the dashboard controls, medical training, training for actual operations or just studying anatomy, human resources and recruiting, so empathy exercises, onboarding, and corporate learning and training. Same thing, learning things you've got to do at your new company. Military and law enforcement can also include empathy training. This is an example of a fully enclosed head-top mounted display company that's being used at one of the schools I work at for virtual reality in vocational classes, class VR. In the case of this, it's at the private high school I work at, Mater Dei. So students are able to take a close-up look at hearts and anatomy and also tour the ocean. This is an example of a vocational student who's learning a technical task using a head top mounted display. You can see he's kind of learning how to do the blast one surface in virtual reality. This is an example of using a head top mounted display in military training and operations, which can also include empathy and how to interact, but also technical skills. So, working machinery and so forth. This is an example from the Martin et al. Survey of medical. So, using haptics, which haptics includes the multimodal approach of you feel the weight in your hand or the vibration in your hand, which simulates actually feeling, touching something in real life. So, this can be used for learning how to do surgery in a medical environment. And included here are my references that I used, including a case study, a survey, and 2 online articles about virtual reality in education, and 6 degrees of freedom versus 3 degrees of freedom. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave a comment below as to your experience with VR and